Good afternoon, YouTube. Today is January 23rd, 2021, and it's kind of a special day because it is the 1-year anniversary of my right transtibial amputation. In this video, I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to show you how my limb has healed up and some of the things that are going on with it. All right, so for those of you who don't want to see an amputated limb, you can switch off to someone else's channel. And for those of you who want to stick around and maybe learn something, here we go. So I'm still wearing a Pinlock type socket and liner. It is just, for me, the most comfortable setup I've had so far, and my prosthetist is more than willing to carry on with that if that's what I like. Throughout the day, I basically only have to wear 1 ply of sock. This is a lightweight or 1 ply sock. That will do enough for me for volume change from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. So I've had my leg on since about 7 o'clock this morning, and right now it's about 4 o'clock. So it's been a pretty active day on it, and I'm going to show you how it looks at the end of the day. So that is the main incision at the end of my stump, and it seems that there's 2 different techniques for below knee amputations as far as where this main suture line is relocated. Mine is at the end, but I've also seen some amputees where that suture line is across the front and the extra calf muscle is pulled up over top the end of the stump. That apparently was not done in my situation. On this side, I have 1 scar from the nerve work where they relocated the peroneal nerve further into my leg to reduce discomfort from wearing my prosthesis. Now, some of this discoloration that you see is from the limb. At the end here, towards the end of my tibia, that discoloration is just sort of where the skin has thickened and toughened up over the year that I've been walking. This is a little bit of the same from the top of my socket, but that is a bruise today that I got this morning when I was kneeling down and I caught my kneecap on a rock. So that's actually a bruise, and that's a little bit tender. That's not from my socket. On the side here, the top of the fibula, the fibular head, this has always been a bit of an area of concern for me because it has a tendency to get rubbed raw, and I really have to watch to make sure that the skin doesn't break down. So that discoloration is actually from some of the past damage that I did in my previous leg when I just pushed myself a little bit too far. In my current socket, we've made more of a relief in this area to protect the abrasion against that area of my leg. But even that is a tricky process because you want the leg to fit absolutely as tight as possible, but not to the point where it is causing friction on any of these bony prominences, which will then cause a hot spot and breakdown of your skin. Now, I had what was called the Erdl procedure, where my tibia and fibula are secured together. In my situation, they didn't use an actual bone bridge. They used the periosteum. The periosteum is the sleeve that runs on the outside of your bones. So that periosteum was grafted together, and these bones now are slowly ossifying that periosteum to grow a bone bridge between the two. The last scan I had showed that there's a spur from the tibia slowly growing this way, and a spur from the fibula slowly growing in this direction, and a small bony island in the middle. And the hope is that one day that will fully form into solid bone. Now, that may happen, that may not, but it looks like it's already starting to form with me, and I'll know more as I get more imagery done in the coming year. Now, as far as pain goes, I don't really have any phantom pain. I get good phantom sensation, which helps me a lot when I walk with my prosthesis. and that is because of how the nerves have been treated in my leg. From what I can tell, in this area here, I believe is where the tibial nerve and the saphenous nerve are. And with the light pressure that the socket creates in this area, it gives me that sensation of stepping onto my foot. When I don't wear my leg, I cannot feel my foot. It's only when I'm up walking in it and that socket is reacting with my limb that I start to gain that proprioception, which is strange, because even when I still had my foot before my amputation, I had very little feeling in it. With the CRPS that I had a condition called body perception disturbance, and that's where the pain and nerve damage got to a point where my brain couldn't adequately interpret the signals from my foot. It felt like my foot was fat all the time and turned inwards. So in order to get walking, I had to wear a big heavy brace that came up to above my knee to hold my foot straight in position, and it just felt really, really weird. Walking on a prosthesis now feels much more natural than walking in that brace ever did. Now, the common reference for an amputated limb is a stump or a residual limb. I really don't like the word stump, and I don't really care for the word residual limb, so I nicknamed my limb Herbie. So that's Herbie after 1 year. It's healed up nicely, and there we go. I'll give you more updates in the future. Take care.